Mamma mia! The following video will contain content that is not appropriate for the children. Viewer discretion is advised.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back for another one of my Pokemon Battle Revolution rant battles. Fuck yeah! Alright, bitches, let's get this party started. Alright, so I've got an interesting story for you guys this time. At least I find it to be interesting. I don't know if you guys will, but quite frankly, I don't give a shit because I'm going to be talking about it anyway. So, love how I just insult my fans. I'm such a dick ass. Then again, I've always been a dick ass, and I will probably always be a dick ass. It's just how I do things. Alright, anyway, on with the show. So, I'm going to be telling you guys the story of how I got into playing Monopoly, because believe it or not, I never expected this when I first started YouTubing, that out of all the videos that I've uploaded, my most successful videos of all time, just on average, have been my Monopoly videos. My videos of, me playing Monopoly on the Sega Genesis, the PlayStation 2, the Nintendo Wii, and somewhat the PlayStation 4. Those ones haven't been as successful, but still get a pretty decent amount of views. Yeah, honestly, I never, ever fucking expected that when I first started YouTubing. Like, out of all my videos, my Monopoly videos got the most views. Yeah, to me, that was shocking. Like, genuinely shocking. And still is to this day. Those videos are still getting views. I mean, on average, you scroll through my analytics, my top videos are like Monopoly, 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 maybe like Wii Sports Resort or something, and then Monopoly, Monopoly is just straight Monopoly. Monopoly has a monopoly on my YouTube channel. They have a monopoly on the top videos on my YouTube channel. I don't know. I never understood why my Monopoly videos have done so well. Just viewership-wise. You guys have been really supportive of my Monopoly content, and I very much appreciated that. Monopoly is something that is actually really special to me, personally, which, again, is why I'm so happy that it took off the way it did, because, again, I never expected it to, but I was really happy that it took off in the way it did. So, let me tell you guys the story of how I got into playing Monopoly video games. It all started back when I was a kid. Back in my day. No, I'm just kidding. Sort of. But back when I was a kid, me and my stepbro, who unfortunately is no longer with us anymore, he passed away to the great beyond, or he's burning in hell, as he used to say. Because he himself used to say that I have a golden throne waiting for me in hell with my name on it. So, maybe he's burning in hell. Who the fuck knows? So long as he's having a good time, Fuck it, right? So, so unfortunately he's no longer with us. But back when he was still alive, back when we were kids, me and him had a mutual friend named Chris. He's a bit of a strange kid. Definitely an oddball. Kind of interesting in his own way. But we had a lot of fun together, He may have been a bit of an oddball, sure. But we had a lot of fun together as kids. And it was actually him that introduced me to my very first Monopoly game. My very first ever Monopoly game was Monopoly on the Sega Genesis. So it was actually Chris, all those years ago. He was giving away a couple of his Sega Genesis games that he just didn't really want anymore or whatever. And he gave them to me. One of the games he gave me was Sonic Spinball, which, again, pretty awesome game. And the other game he gave me was Monopoly on the Sega Genesis. And I thought that was cool as hell because, I got my hands on the original Monopoly video game. The original. So that was awesome. So, naturally, I kind of toyed around with it a little bit. Playing some Monopoly and whatnot. And me and my stepbro both together, we kind of toyed around with it a little bit and started playing some Monopoly games. We eventually developed our own set of rules where whoever lands on a property first gets to buy that entire property and own it. So if someone else lands on one of those, that particular color, let's say like if someone lands on light blue first, then that means that they get the light blue property. And if anyone else lands on a light blue property, they have to auction it off to the person who landed on light blue first until that person has monopolized that particular color. And we made it so that way each person can only get, because we usually do it with 4 players. We did it so that way one player can only get 4 monopolies right off the bat. And then if they get more than 4, like if they get to more than 4 colors first, then they have to auction that property off to the person who has the least amount of properties in order to keep the game kind of interesting. So that's kind of how I play Monopoly, for those of you who have been kind of curious about that. That's the main basic rule of how I play my version of Monopoly that my stepbro kind of helped me develop. He was kind of the guy that helped me develop that 4 limit rule. I kind of came up with the math behind that, but he's like, we need to find a way to make this more fair, because there were people, because when we were testing it, with different games and whatnot, there were people who were going without any properties and they were just getting killed. So we came up with that rule together to make the game more interesting. And we used to use fictional characters when playing our games of Monopoly, so that way it was like those characters were battling it out in a high-stakes game of Monopoly. It made it kind of fun that way. We originally, one of my favorites to use was the 4 characters from South Park, Cartman, Kyle, Stan, and Kenny. So that way it was like, those guys were battling it out in Monopoly. And we invented the game to be objective, so that way it was more like, it wasn't necessarily like we were the ones playing the game of Monopoly. It was like the characters that we put in the game were the ones playing the Monopoly game, not us necessarily. We were just overseeing the process. Whereas the game would unfold however it unfolds. So, it was all thanks to my friend Chris, all those years ago, who gave me that one game of Monopoly on the Sega Genesis, which is still the same exact game I have to this day. And it's awesome. And then, actually, later on, it was my stepbro who first got me Monopoly on the PlayStation 2, which is when I was first introduced to that version of Monopoly. Then I later bought the Wii version of that game when my original PlayStation 2 died, because I still wanted to have a way to play that Monopoly game, because I hadn't yet discovered the wonders of online shopping where I could buy a new PlayStation 2. So that's how I ended up with Monopoly on the Wii. And then I eventually bought Monopoly on the PlayStation 4, because I'm like, okay, have an HD new version of Monopoly, so that'll be cool. And it is. So yeah, that's kind of the story of how I got into playing Monopoly. I just figured I wanted to share that with you guys, because it's kind of an interesting story how that all got started, It was all thanks to my friend Chris giving me that, Monopoly game on the Sega Genesis. And then my stepbro giving me the PlayStation 2 version of that game as like a Christmas present or some shit. I forget exactly what it was. But yeah. And then me and him, me and my stepbro sitting in our basement. And then, just playing games of Monopoly late at night. Having a really fun time with it. Getting wasted on energy drinks. That was a good fucking time, man. That was a good fucking time. I miss that so much. Me and him had some good times playing Monopoly together. You can actually watch some of those good times still on my YouTube channel. I know on the Nintendo Wii, games like 8 through 15, I think I played with him. But yeah, a lot of the PlayStation 2 ones that I did way back in the day with when I was still recording videos with my 3DS camera, for fuck's sakes. Those are all still up. You can still watch them to this day. Granted, they are incredibly low quality, but yeah. I just want to say thank you guys to all the support you've given me on my Monopoly videos. It really means a lot to me because Monopoly is something very special to me. Because it was something that me and my stepbro created together. And it's kind of a way that his legacy lives on to this day, despite the fact that he's no longer with us. So I just want to say truly from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys so much for all the support you've given me on my Monopoly videos. And I hope I will continue to be able to make them for you guys in the future. I know I just uploaded some not too long ago, and again, it's a way for my stepbro's legacy to live on. So, words will never truly express the depths of my gratitude to you guys for all the support you've given me on my Monopoly videos. It really does mean a lot to me. Alright, anyway guys, that'll do it for that one. Until next time, peace out.